This video is going to focus on pliés and tendus, which are the fundamentals of your ballet technique and the first two combinations of bar. Pliés happen in first, second, fourth, and fifth positions. We're going to begin our pliés in first position, then move on to second, fourth, and fifth. So we're just going to keep our hands on our hips, and we're going to stand with our heels together and our toes apart, and we'll go through the ballet checklist. So if you watch my other video, you know that you'll begin with the heels kissing, kneecaps pulled up, inner thighs squeezing together, glutes engaged to feel an indent in the side of your hip, tummy in towards the spine to engage and lift the abs, then create space through every vertebrae in the spine and grow your head towards the ceiling. So your crown of the head grows up to make you grow an inch throughout your entire body. This is how we begin every plié exercise. So a demi-plié is simply a bend in the knees and a stretch. The trick to doing it properly is you need to think about your tailbone going straight down towards the floor, your knees going directly side over your toes. So be careful, because a lot of people will want to pitch their torso forward as they bend their legs like this, or they'll want to stick their bum out. But we need to think about the tailbone going straight down towards the floor. The knees go directly side so that they align with the toes. The grand plié in first position is the same thing except the demi, except you're going to bend your legs even more until your heels naturally come off of the floor. You're not going to pop the heels off of the floor. You're going to let your knees take you down, and as your heels are forced to lift off of the floor, you'll allow them to. And then as soon as you can, you're going to press your heels down into the floor to bring your body up to a standing position in first position. You want to make sure that your tailbone goes straight down, your torso stays up. So think about the crown of your head growing towards the ceiling, creating space in the spine. So even as you're bending down with your knees, your spine is growing up towards the ceiling. The last thing that we need to remember in the grand pliés is to support our waist and our hips. We want to be careful that we're not sitting at the bottom of the plié. If I sit at the bottom of my plié, then that's kind of like resting my hips on my heels for support, and I'm not engaging any of these muscles in my knees or my thighs or the backs of my legs, like my hamstrings or my glutes. So even as you go all the way down, you have to support your body by engaging these muscles here. It's a workout. So let's try a couple pliés in first position. Let's do 2 demis and a grand plié, just keeping our hands on our hips. So I have one hand on the bar, other hand is on my hip. I'm in first position. I've gone through the ballet checklist. Demi-plié and stretch. Demi-plié and stretch. Grand plié all the way down. Coming up. Good. Then we do the same thing in second position. To get from first position to second position, you simply point your foot out and lower the heel. You might need to scoot the heel out a little bit further, but try to avoid this if you can. It kind of depends on how long your calves and your Achilles tendons are to allow you to go into your deep grand plié in second position. So we're in second position here, and a demi-plié is the same thing as in first, just tailbone straight down, knees directly side. Demi-plié and stretch. Plié and stretch. You can do it a few times to get the feeling. Think about the tailbone going straight down, crown of the head growing up towards the ceiling. So you're moving in opposition. In your second position, grand plié, your heels will stay connected to the floor the entire time. So you'll grand plié all the way down, just until you feel that your heels cannot stay connected to the ground any further, and then you come up. If you have super loose Achilles tendons, you might be able to go all the way to the ground and still keep your heels down, but we want to be careful here that the hips, just like in first position, do not go lower than the knees. So you have to support your weight by engaging the glutes. The thighs will engage, the backs of the legs, the hamstrings will engage. So your grand plié just deep enough where your hips are still a little bit higher than your knees, and your heels are connected to the floor, and then you'll come up. So then you can practice demis and grands in second. Demi-plié and stretch. Demi-plié and stretch. Then you go a little bit lower. Grand plié all the way down and coming up. From second position, you're going to tendu and carry the foot into a fourth position. So I'm in second, I point my foot, I rond it to the front, and I place the heel into fourth position. I'm being careful here in my fourth that I keep my hips and my shoulders square. So my toe can draw a straight line back to my heel, and my heel can draw a straight line back to my toe. So my hips and my shoulders are square, my feet create a sort of box here, and my weight is even between 2 feet. I'm not favoring the weight onto one foot or the other. My weight is even. Same rules apply here. My tailbone drops straight down, even between 2 feet. My knees bend directly side, so they stay over the toes. So I demi-plie, and I stretch. And I demi-plie, and I stretch. It's highly possible that your demi-plies will not be as deep in fourth and fifth positions. That's totally fine, very normal. My weight stays even between 2 feet. My tailbone drops straight down. My knees bend directly side. The goal in your demi-plies in all of these positions is that your knees, the center of your knee, can draw a line to the second or third toe. That's how you know that your knees are over your toes. You don't want your knees to pronate forward and then the arches of your feet drop. Keep your arches lifted, keep the knees bending over the toes, and then we'll come up. Be careful that at the bottom of your fourth position grand plie that you start opening the hips. We want to avoid that. You want to keep the hips square and the shoulders square. So if I'm in fourth position here and I grand plie, my hips and shoulders are completely square towards the front of the room, and I come up. Fifth position, same rules apply. Weight is even between 2 feet. My legs are perfectly crossed, so my heel is in line with my toe is in line with my heel. My knees are stretched, inner thighs squeezing. I've gone through the ballet checklist. I'm standing nice and tall. I demi-plie, tailbone straight down, knees straight side, and come up. Demi-plie, and come up. Knees directly side, weight even between 2 feet, and I come up. When we start getting picky about the fifth position grand plie, I will tell you to connect your heels at the bottom of your grand plie. So in a demi-plie, you can see that there's a space in between my legs here because my knees are over my toes. If my knees were not over my toes, then they would move in this forward direction and then there would no longer be a space between the calf. Keep them over the toes, keep the space between your legs here, and come up. Now in the grand plie, I keep the space, I go through my demi-plie. As I grand plie, my heels connect at the bottom, and then I come up through demi-plie, and I stretch up. Now let's talk about the port-de-bras. The port-de-bras is how you carry your arms. So the pattern of the arms after you've done your preparation will be to fifth en pas, to first position, to second position, flip the wrists so your palms face down towards the floor, and that's your allongé. Fifth en bas, first position, second position, flip the wrists. Fifth en bas, first position, second position, flip the wrists. So in fifth en bas, we want to make sure that we're creating a nice oval shape here. On bas, you can remember like holding a ball. So from the side, we have a little bit of space between our legs and our arms. Imagine that you have a long romantic tutu made of tulle, so it sticks out a little bit, and you need to make sure that you're not smushing your tutu. So you keep your arms out. You hold them nice and rounded. Your shoulders are rolling down and back. Your chest is open and lifted. Then we carry our arms up to first position. First position is also like you're holding a big beach ball. So my shoulders are the highest point, then my elbow, then my wrist, and then my fingertips complete the line. You can think of it like there's water falling down on your shoulder, and it has to trickle all the way down and off of your fingertips. So you need to keep this slanted angle line here. Second position is the same thing as first. You just open your arms to the side. So they stay rounded in this position. They stay rounded as you open your arms to the side. This is our preparation position here. So we'll go 5, 6, preparation 7, arms come to first. Open 8, arms come to second. allongé. Demi-plié, arms are in fifth en bas. Stretch. Demi-plié, arms are in first. Stretch to second. Allongé, grand plié, arms are in fifth en bas, the bottom of the grand plié. Arms come up to first position, arms and legs stretch together to second. Allongé, grand plié. Arms are down in fifth en bas. Arms come up to first with a demi-plié. Arms and legs stretch together to bring the arm to second position. You'll begin every bar doing a combination similar to this. As you advance a little further, you might begin doing a cambrai or more advanced port-de-bras. But for the absolute basics, this is what you need to know. Now try this exercise with me. You can use the playlist that's in the description and click on the plié combination. We're going to do 2 demi-pliés and a grand plié, and I will count you in. Good job. Now you're going to repeat that on the second side, and then we'll begin tendus. Tendus seem simple, but they can get a little bit difficult. We're going to do these in first position and fifth position. Starting in first position with our heels together and our toes apart, go through your ballet checklist so you're standing nice and tall, very strong legs engaging the glutes, the core, the spine is long, inner thighs are squeezing together. Throughout your tendu combination, you can just keep your arms in second position, but for the sake of showing you right now, I'm just going to keep my hands on my hips. So all you're going to do is keep your legs extremely straight, point your foot to the front, and close. There are some rules that we need to think about though. You need to keep your kneecaps super pulled up so your legs are as straight as possible, and you're going to point towards the center of your body. So if you were to draw a line from your belly button down to your toe, it would be a straight line directly up. So you want to make sure that you're not tenduing out here, where if I was to draw a line to my toe, I have to make the line go on a diagonal, right? We're trying to avoid that. So tendu to the front towards the center of your body, straight line down to your toe. My knee is super pulled up, and then I'm going to close with a completely stretched leg. It's common, a lot of beginners will want to bend their leg in. Be very careful of that. So look in a full-length mirror or film yourself and replay it back and check to make sure that you're really pulled up in the kneecaps, your glutes are engaged, your feet are pointed, big checklist. So point your foot out, close it first. Another common mistake that beginners will make is they will lead out with their toes. So they start turning their leg in as they tendu, and then they keep their leg turned in, and then they open out to first position again. We want to make sure that we're maintaining that turnout the entire time we tendu and the entire time we close. So you're actively engaging the glutes, rotating the inner thighs forward, rotating the calves forward, rotating the heels forward. So I rotate my heels forward so much that it seems like I'm leading out with my heel. I continue rotating my heel forward. I keep it rotating even as I close, so it seems like I'm leading back to first position with my toes. So if you were to take a photo of me in between the tendu before I've pointed my foot, you can see that my leg is still super turned out, it's super stretched. My toes are still pointing to the side. My heel is still trying to rotate its way towards the front of the room. And then I simply point the toes. So going a little faster, same thing is happening here. Second position, tendu, same rules apply, same with the back. So I'm in first position, I simply point my foot to the side. My leg is super stretched. I'm trying to rotate both of my legs evenly, turning out the standing leg, rotating the inner thigh, the calf, the heel forward, so I have a very stable leg. I should feel an indent in the side of my hip here. This leg that's pointing has that same rotational feeling. So I'm still engaging this glute even. My knee is super stretched. My inner thigh and my calf are wrapping around forward towards the front of the room. I'm trying to rotate my heel forward, and I close into first position. So I maintain the turnout the entire time. I'm in first position, I never lose this turnout here. And I tendu side, and I close. Tendu side, close. Really staying careful to keep the kneecaps pulled up here. Same rules apply to the back. This time I'm gonna lead out with the toes, lead in with the heel, because I'm still trying to rotate everything towards the front of the room. But as I'm rotating towards the front, I'm moving my leg behind me. So it's this strange sensation of spiraling. So think about leading out with the toes, in with the heel. I'm maintaining this turnout from first position. When I tendu to the back, I make sure that my toes are in line with the center of my tailbone. So I want a nice crossed tendu here. Your arms in the tendu combination, just for right now, are going to stay in second position. So we'll do our preparation 7, open the arms to second, 8, and they're just gonna stay here the entire time. Make sure as the combination goes on, they don't start to get droopy chicken wing arms. You have to keep them supported. Keep the shoulders rolling down and back, keep the chest open. Think about the shoulder being the highest point, then you have a nice rounded elbow, lifted elbow. Wrist is a little bit lower than the elbow, and the hands, the fingers complete the line. Let's try 4 tendus en croix. En croix means front, side, back, side. So if you're doing 4 tendus en croix, that's 4 to the front, 4 to the side, 4 to the back, 4 to the side. Open up your playlist and go to your first tendu music. We're gonna do 4 tendus en croix together. If you would like, you can repeat the combination twice. Make sure you do the second side. So you can do 4 en croix and then repeat another 4 en croix immediately on the same side, then turn around, do the second side. Just make sure that you stay even on both legs. So if you do it twice on one side, you have to do twice on the other. 5th position tendus can seem a little bit more difficult because it requires really crossing, squeezing the inner thighs and maintaining turnout as you close, even more so than in first position. So you're in 5th position. Make sure that you start off with really good alignment here. So we want to make sure that our hips and our shoulders are nice and square. We're squeezing the inner thighs, we've engaged the glutes. Kneecaps are pulled up so they're super stretched. If you are finding that you have to bend one leg, try to open your 5th position a little bit more. So you can just rotate your toes in a tiny bit, just until you can stretch 2 legs. You'll tendu to the front. Same rules apply as your tendu in first position. You tendu, so your toe is in line with the center of the belly button, drawing a straight line. And then as you close, you maintain that turnout from your 5th position to slide your foot back to 5th. We want to make sure that when you slide into fifth position, you go directly into this nice crossed fifth position. Careful that you're not going to close a little bit in this open fifth position and then cross your foot back into fifth. We want to make this as little movement as possible. So you just want to directly close your foot to fifth, immediately connect the toe to the heel and the heel to the toe. So you're in your tendu, and you close immediately. Tendu, close. If you're finding that you're having difficulty and your leg wants to bend and then stretch, think about lifting up through the supporting leg, creating space in the hip by engaging this glute. Feel the indent here. Think about elongating the front of the hip, pulling your spine up towards the ceiling as you close, so you can create space, so you can elongate this leg, so this leg has a little bit more freedom and room to close. So it's not easy, it's gonna take practice. Just think about maintaining that turnout, squeezing those inner thighs, close in fifth position. Your tendu side alternates positions. So if you start in a fifth position with your right foot in front, when you tendu that leg, it'll close to the back. Then you'll tendu the leg again, it'll close to the front. Tendu again, close to the back. Tendus to the back, same rules apply. You want to make sure that your toe points in line with the center of your tailbone. Keep your legs stretched very long, pulling the kneecaps up, actively engaging the muscles all throughout your leg to keep that leg stretched and that toe pointed. Close back into a fifth position, nice and crossed. Everything's engaged. Go through the ballet checklist. When you're in your tendu, when your foot's pointed to the back, go through your ballet checklist there. Make sure that everything's in alignment, your abs are engaged, everything. Then close back into fifth position, go through the alignment again. Make sure everything's in order. It's better to go slow while you're just starting out, and then as you gain the muscle memory, then you can start quickening things. Together, let's try 3 tendus en croix from fifth position. That means 3 to the front, 3 to the side. Remember to alternate closing your fifth each time. 3 to the back, 3 to the side. So to make sure we really understand that, we've done our preparation. Our arm is in second position. It's going to stay in second position. We're going to tendu to the front, close, 2, close, 3, close, hold. Tendu side, close, 2, 3, back, 2, 3, side, 2, 3. Between each pause, so you do 1, 2, 3, there's a pause for the 4th count. Check your ballet checklist in that moment. You have like a 1 count to go through everything, make sure everything's in good alignment to set yourself up for the next set of tendus. So you'll go tendu front, 2, 3, stand here really quickly, go through the checklist, abs engaged, are my knees stretched, are my shoulders rolling down. Then we go to the side, 2, 3, grow up, abs engaged, knees are stretched, back, 2, 3, go through it again, side 2, 3. Go into your playlist now and click on the second tendu exercise. We're gonna do this exercise together. Really good work. This is a lot to think about. This is just about everything you need to know for your absolute beginner pliés and tendus. Good job.